The North Hudson Public Works meeting, Tuesday, June 20th, 2017 at 5:30 PM. Call to order, roll call, please.
Chair Pike,
Here.
Trustee Ted,
Here.
Trustee Zeiss,
Here.
Okay, number 2, approve the minutes from May 16, 2017 Public Works meeting.
I move to approve the minutes from May 16, 2017.
I'll second.
Okay, moved and seconded. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Item number 3, drainage issue at 278 Station Circle, discussion and possible recommendation. Patrick?
Okay, I didn't put together any type of issue statement for that. Kevin Oyam had put something together, and you guys should have that. I took a bunch of pictures of the corner. It's at Station Circle and Station Lane, correct? And it's the road obviously has a crown in it, and the water pools up on the one side of it, close to or on a resident's property, and the drainage for that property is in that ditch. And without giving any opinion, I guess I'd rather have you guys look at the pictures and see what you think. I believe Kevin gave his opinions and ideas on it. I guess I would just like to have a little bit of guidance on this one. And I believe our resident is here if he so chooses to speak.
So all these photos are about that?
Yeah. There, I tried to get from different angles, and that's the pooling of the water
And he
when
wants
it, when
to
it
do what?
rains.
Cut
Maybe,
down the
I don't know,
bank?
maybe you should let him explain, but what I understand.
Kevin, I meant. Kevin's solution was?
Kevin's solution was the soil is about an inch higher than the asphalt.
This?
Yes.
Okay.
So that we either compact that soil down and then so that the water can drain into
Naturally drained.
the culvert, yes. And then we could, if we had to, put a type of matting down so that it doesn't wreck the shoulder or whatever. But there was a picture in there of, at one point, there's some drainage. It must have drained in a different spot because there's like some wood steps in there, is all I can assume is that the water kind of ran down those steps and that kept things from eroding. But I guess if we just kind of let water run, it kind of takes care of itself. But like I say, I'm not,
Let me get a quick look at
I
these.
don't care to.
So that drainage and those steps, that is on the other side of where that buildup is, right?
No, it's
It
on.
is on the same side.
Yeah. Do you have the picture up?
I do have that up. I mean, I know this area quite well. I
Okay.
live near this area.
Yeah.
And,
And the drainage, it would be building up right here.
it would be, okay.
Yeah, it's pooling right there.
Oh, very good, okay.
Yeah, I can explain what Patrick referred to as steps to the, before.
This is
we came,
like these steps here,
I have
whatever,
some photos
and
too.
then this up here is where the water pools up on the corner.
This
Okay,
one?
We'll wait a second here for Brian.
Yeah. Yeah, it pools up right up there.
It-
Oh, I'm sorry.
and
God
what's-
dang it.
What's gonna happen, so you're cutting it up here and it'll
Well-
run down here?
Yeah, it will come down into that storm drain.
That's, oh. Who
That's
put
a-
the- who
that's
put
a
the
storm
ste-
drain.
Who put the steps in there?
I don't know. That was here before I got here. I don't know.
I did actually. So,
Why'd you do that?
but more of the retaining wall was so steep that the soil was not stable and would collapse all the time. So I talked at the time to the Public Works director at that time and asked him if I could do this. He said, yeah, go ahead. That was a Mark something.
Okay, discussion.
Well, he's looking at modifying it closer to the road there, right?
Right.
So it drains better down into that.
Right.
Yeah. I mean, again, I know this area. I see the water building up there all the time there. So, I mean, I definitely think something needs to be done. And I somewhat agree. I don't know if adding more asphalt would actually,
There is already a hot patch right there.
Yep.
For, I don't know if the road broke up there or what, but, so I think, and I'm guessing Kevin put that in his statement, if we build that up any higher, we could be fighting
Creating more
the
trouble.
natural,
Yep.
how it was designed, but I don't know.
Any thoughts?
Well, it sounds like it's built up higher than the road,
Yeah, we,
so let's just,
why would it have done that?
I don't know.
there's no telling.
Somebody went.
So it seems to me the
Or do you think
easiest,
the road sunk?
well, that could be
Well,
too.
like you were saying, that patch has been put in there. You can see that definitely there's been some repair already in that area.
Right. Road might have just sunk right there.
It would seem to me the easiest solution would be to grade it down and then put some
That's,
erosion control in.
That's our engineer's
Yeah.
recommendation.
I don't think I'd lay asphalt over it.
If I could, I'm not sure what the protocol is.
You need to step up to the mic and tell your name and address.
Which might,
That one.
That big guy.
thank you.
Actually, sure. Back there.
Yep, that one.
Good evening. Thanks for letting me attend. My name is Doug Sundet, S-U-N-D-E-T, and I live at 278 Station Circle North. So it's right at the intersection of Station Lane and Station Circle, which is the intersection that we're talking about. I'm on the southwest corner. And I have some photos too. I only have 2 sets. Is that gonna be?
That's fine. We can share.
That can be workable? Okay. I should. If I have to be to the mic, it's gonna be hard to do, but I was planning to refer to some of the photos to myself.
Yeah, it does really put on there.
You keep one set and you comment.
okay?
Yeah, we'll just share
Okay.
here. Yep.
Okay, I'll finish quickly and I'll pass them to whoever like it. So photo number 1, you can see the number. Photo number 1, you can see the number in the upper right-hand corner. Shows the pooling after a pretty good downpour. And, we've lived at the property for 27 years now, and we've always had an issue with runoff and drainage problems and washouts and erosion at that same place. So I think the problem is that the roadway slopes on the east-west direction, that's Station Circle. It slopes down toward, you can see the stop sign, the post of the stop sign on this photo. And same likewise for Station Lane. The road slopes downward toward that same place. And I think for some reason, this one corner, the southwest corner, seems to get all the drainage. I don't know if it's sloped a little bit improperly or something. So we can go to photo 2, and I've kind of marked it up prematurely for the discussion here, but I did, the red dashes there were not part of the photo. I put those on. But I guess one of my thoughts was, that I wanted to ask about tonight too, was that if it's the red dashes are outlining the water, the pooled water at that point. And I measured only about a half-inch difference between the sod that's mostly washed away and the water, or the tarvia at this point. So it doesn't seem like it's a lot of difference in elevation, but it's enough to cause that pooling. And I think I'd like to come back to this one in a minute, so if we could skip to photo 3, I think that shows some of the erosion and the undercutting. And we've had this problem now, like I said, we've been there for 27 years. And when it was a regular shoulder with the class 5 in it, the problem was even worse then, because I think with a combination of the snowplows pushing some of the class 5 out of the way, and it would be a little bit lower, then the water would really run off. And oddly enough, it always seems to be right at that stop sign, which is kind of the lowest local point there. And it washes out right there. And so going to number 4, I did take a photo. In the foreground is the asphalt, and the background is what's left of the sod at that point. And there's, like I said, there's only about half of an inch difference in elevation between the two that I could measure. Number 5 is kind of odd, because that's actually a neighbor's property, and he's put sod up to the blacktop, and I put a credit card there because they're about 3 3/8 of an inch or something like that in the long direction, which is how I have this one oriented. And so the from the tar to the sod, the lower part of the sod, not counting the grass, is about 2 inches or something like that there. And he doesn't have the same issue with pooling and all that, but it's just an example, I think, of what some of the houses in our neighborhood have done, where they've sodded right up to the roadway, and it's more of a residential look. I'm kind of opposed to trying to put class 5 there and build up the shoulder again, because I don't think it looks very residential. But I'm, again, getting ahead of myself a little bit. And Patrick mentioned the steps, photo number 6. To me, it's a retaining wall, because the water used to erode down there, and there was no way to really maintain the soil at that point without it washing out terribly. So I talked at the time to Mark and the Public Works Committee, and told him what I'd like to do, and he said, "Yeah, go ahead, sounds good." And he later approved it and said it looked very good. And photo number 7 is just another view of that same thing. So the stop sign that I was talking.
Is the water pooling on the same side as the drain, or is it the opposite side?
It's pooling on the same corner, the same
yeah. So
side.
it'd be like right up there.
Yeah, so this is the culvert that drains the water away.
So right by the steps.
No, actually, where the pool is,
Yeah.
It's in the road, actually.
yeah, by the steps, but I think the deeper part is closer to the, if you look again at photo number 1, I think you can see that the edge of the pooling is right coincident with the post of the stop sign, and that seems to be, like I said
So
before.
how far is this drain from the stop sign, from where this
Yeah,
is
from
pooling
that.
up?
Yeah. Where is it? On photo 1. So how far is the drain from this area? Is it over here?
It's towards you.
Towards me?
Yes. It makes a gradual curve right there.
Okay.
And so the culvert runs, again, right towards you.
Okay.
The culvert is running underneath station lanes, so it's going east to west.
Okay.
Yep.
All right, thank you.
Sure.
Do you guys understand?
I do, yep, I know
Okay.
that area. I've walked down there many times and seen that water down there. And I
So
know that
is
area.
the idea to take this whole corner down so it runs down? He says the steps are down here and the drain's down here.
Mhm.
So we're taking this whole corner down?
Well, I don't want to go in and tear up anybody's yard. That's not my thing. I just was.
This is right away.
Yes, no, I understand. But this part of it here, just and this is actually not, I mean, it's dirt, it's
Stuff that
pea
just
gravel,
washes
it's
up.
whatever, you know,
Yeah.
and it's just kind of settling there. So even if I could drive over it and just get it so that the water would run off toward the drain, I mean,
How long does it stay?
All right, that's amazing. I mean, ducks are living there, in it.
Really?
Yeah, there's ducks swimming in it. Am I not exaggerating, am I?
I've actually never seen ducks, but
So two
I
things.
say it's possible.
Two things. Number one, you realize those steps are yours to maintain, right? Because they're in the right of way and we didn't put them in.
Okay.
I just want you to know that because we've had an issue with that before.
Okay.
Where someone built on right of way and it's just not the city's responsibility if that would or those steps ever fall apart. I just wanted to make that clear.
Okay.
And get it on record.
Sure.
Number two, if we lower the grass on that side, it looks like we'd be able to get it to drain down towards that drain, which is ultimately what you're after, right?
Yes.
Okay.
So I was thinking, I think you've already alluded to the problems with trying to build up the blacktop, but the way I was looking at it, again, I'm referring back to photo number 2. If there was some kind of a buildup of the asphalt that would follow that red dashed line that I'm showing,
Mm-hmm.
and where it would be almost down to the existing pavement at that point where the dashed line is, and building up a little bit to the side.
Well,
But
we've had an issue with redirecting water before. It's something we try not to do for the most part because it just causes somebody else trouble. So since the drain is there and we believe that we can shave the land down in our right of way to get the water off that corner down to that drain, would that satisfy you?
yeah, it's in the process of the water going down the bank in order to get to the drain. I think the issue happens.
Yeah, you don't want to create a bigger issue.
Right, he's right. I
You
mean,
think we're gonna create a
I
ditch?
don't know. I guess I'm going off of Kevin's, recommendation here because I'm not an expertise as far as,
Right.
But he's
I-
right. I mean,
You're thinking
Can't
that,
get that big of a slope, though.
no, we're not thinking a big slope, just enough to make sure the water moves.
Right.
Yeah, I guess the way I look at it, and again, referring to the red dashed line, is kind of a levee, not a dam or anything, but just to, it wouldn't redirect the water to another part of the intersection. It would still flow down to my corner where the culvert is. So I'm not looking at redirecting it elsewhere to somebody else's property. But I can understand the concerns there, I think, and so I think, in my opinion anyway, the second best alternative for me would just be to shave down the existing shoulder just minimally so that could put some blacktop and sod so that the sod, maybe the top part of the sod, not counting the grass part, but the actual sod, would be pretty much level with the roadway. And I think that would look more residential and everything rather than having a shoulder with class 5 on it.
Okay, well, the recommendation from our engineer is this. I would suggest cutting down the existing aggregate shoulder to allow for positive drainage down to the existing ditch. This area could be restored with erosion control matting or sod after the work is completed. So he's gonna, it sounds like we're gonna fix it up, but we're gonna make sure the water does not sit there, that it runs down to that drainage ditch. And that's ultimately what you want, correct?
Mhm. Yeah.
So gentlemen, thank you. Do you
Sure.
I
guys have any?
say,
do you
no,
have
I
any-
say give it a try.
Do you have any questions for him?
No.
no.
You can, thank you, sir.
Sure, thank you.
Are we creating another ditch? Gentlemen, I don't want to go down that path again. I mean, I'm wondering, the only other thing that I could think of, and Patrick, you tell me if I'm wrong here, but we could do a little bit more than cut down that thing and put some kind of drainage, official drainage that takes it right to the pipe. Right? That's the only other thing I can think of, something with a grate right off the road where it runs into the grate, and then there's a pipe that takes it right to the ditch. So other than that, I think because we don't want to create that erosion problem that we had, you know, Ted, you know what I'm talking about? On a big rain, I mean, maybe we should ask Kevin to investigate.
Just look at it, yeah.
Investigate at least, you know, should we put some kind of permanent thing in
Yeah.
there that really pulls the water away from that corner?
No.
Right to the drainage ditch, because it's not very
My-
far.
Yeah, my concern would be if we shave it down, are we gonna create an erosion problem? with
Right.
a huge
Now, he's
word?
talking about erosion control and all that, but we've been
I
down
think
that
it's fair.
road, sir.
I think it's fair.
All right,
Ask him what it would take to put a,
so cost-wise, what it
A
would take
sink
to
in there.
make it a, yeah,
yeah,
what do you call that exactly?
Yeah, I know what you're talking about, something really
Just sink.
directed down into, yeah, see.
just
Yeah.
sink.
Like a little
Just a
small piece
trap.
of drain tile or something?
Yes, to drain it, to make sure that we're not causing constant erosion problems. Let's see if he can put an actual drain just off the road, cut the road down still, so it runs to this thing, but just off the road, you know, where it's going, we don't want to create a bunch of erosion problems down the road, and
Yep.
when we have our big rains, we know that happens.
Mhm.
We'll figure it out, sir.
Okay, can I say one more thing? I think that is, I think you were talking about running, or making sure that the water gets from, it looks like that area where the stop sign is, down to the culvert as cleanly as it can. And that seems to be the question. So I think that the distance there, just trying to put this in perspective, the stop sign, of course, is what, 20 or 30 feet away from the other road, would you say, Patrick? Okay. So we're talking about the stop sign post where the problem seems to be, and then getting the water to flow from that point to the culvert, which is actually on the other side of the corner, if you bend the corner.
It's not a straight shot?
Well, it would be from there, you just run it
Okay.
at an
Yeah.
angle.
We've had trouble with erosion problems before when we try and redirect water. So I'm asking him to ask our engineer for a little more solid solution that would take the water away and not create erosion problems going forward. It would still look nice. There might be a grate in there somewhere. More work for you. But we want to make sure we don't cause erosion problems, because we've had that before. Okay?
Well, thank you for your time.
Thank you.
So, gentlemen, we're pushing this back to next meeting, I guess, to hear from Kevin, and you are going to ask Kevin specifically to examine
Yep.
it for a more permanent
I'll
solution.
have them stop out and we'll.
Because otherwise, you know, if there is dirt flowing down that way, it's gonna build right back up. If the water's sitting there and the ducks are playing in it. And the snow plows come and take it out or push it up in a higher level or whatever, you know. Let's look for a more permanent solution, if you guys don't
No,
disagree.
Totally agree.
Okay. All right, thank you. Thank you, sir. All right, item number 4, purchase of new riding lawnmower for Public Works, discussion and possible recommendation. What?
I didn't mean to put recommendation on there, I was just. this
Oh,
was gonna be-
possible discussion, okay.
This was gonna be just more of an informational thing.
This is an informational thing, so
Because
go
you-
ahead, give us your information. I
you had-
don't see any paperwork on it.
No,
Okay.
because I
All right, we're
did not
listening.
get any of it done. This is just some stuff, this is what I'm looking at, I don't know. They're just different type, we actually, demoed a machine like this. It's a 4-wheel steer, it was 2-wheel drive. It just had a mowing deck on it, you can put obviously other attachments on it if you want to.
That's this?
Snow blower, that is the,
Or is it this one?
that's the, no, that's a small one. We were looking at the 7
little
piece
bigger.
here.
Okay.
This is an
Got ya.
X370, and we demoed us.
You're looking at the 730 series?
Yeah, the 700 series. They have a 4-wheel steer on them, so they you can almost go around a tree as well as you can with a zero turn. And we also did a little test run. We got it on a Monday, I believe, or a Tuesday, and I held off on mowing the lawns. It takes us a good 4 days to mow the lawns with the riding lawnmower that we have and the push mower and the trimmer. We cut that in less than half with one more mower, which freed a lot of time up for us to get going. So I just wanted to get you guys some information and show you what I'm looking at.
And it's just for mowing, that's the intent?
Well, it's for mowing, and then for, we could use it for snow blowing.
Can we
like-
just purchase a,
Snow blower? No.
We do have a walk behind snow blower, yes.
Okay, so this is just informational,
Yeah.
and he's keeping us in the loop because the truck hasn't sold.
No, not yet, no.
Okay, so until the truck sells, and by the way, did Melissa tell you about the site she wants to post it on?
Yep, I have all that
Let's try and
in
get it
my
up there.
office, and I'm trying.
I mean,
I've been preoccupied.
Need to get you in the office more, but yeah, that storm messed
I know,
everything up.
and I'm not making excuses, but it did mess stuff up, so.
Okay, so he's keeping you guys informed on the direction he's looking, so when we get to it, and if you remember right, we told him
Yep,
before,
bring this to the table, yep.
sell the truck first, then bring it to the table, but, so this is information to let you know what direction he's looking. And so once the truck sells and the funds are there, that's where he's going.
what were we asking for a truck, 6?
8?
85 is the
85.
minimum bid. I was also told by Melissa, she had done a little investigating through the clerks and stuff on the computer, and everybody that she had spoken to had said that they actually had gotten more for their vehicles than what they wanted, so I'm
Yep.
trying to think positive that,
She told me the same thing.
yeah.
She thinks, especially using the site she found, that other municipalities are using to sell equipment like this, that it will go. And we won't have to pay for a newspaper ad, which is likely to cost a couple $100.
Yeah, and I actually have someone looking at it anyway, so it's.
Okay.
Yep.
Any questions?
Oh, very good.
Further discussion? All right. Item number 5, chip sealing for village streets, discussion and possible recommendation.
Okay, this I did
That's item
make a
number 5, okay.
statement for. I did a little bit of research. I looked back last year, the village, I went out with pickup and marked off what we had chip sealed. It actually came up to exactly 1 mile of street, which was $29,315.09. That included, they rolled behind, they used a rubber tire roller to pack the stuff down, and the sweeping of the rocks after everything had set up, the oil had set up. I'm sure that this dollar amount had something to do with the fact that the streets were not necessarily all in one spot. They kind of had to move around, so there was probably some relocation fees, something like that involved. This year in 2017, I'd like to try St. Croix County. Kevin Oyam actually suggested it to me a while ago. I was in contact with a Mike, and I apologize, I forget his last name, from the St. Croix Highway Department. He's kind of in charge of things up there, and they have a machine. It's a truck that sprays the oil, and right after the oil goes down, it's like all one process. The rock goes right on top of it. I also called Woodville and Roberts. They both use it. The guy in Woodville said that he wouldn't have anybody else do his streets. He really likes it. It stands up well. I was told that they also do the town of Hudson and River Falls. They charge $4,250 to $4,500 a day. He didn't send me an official bid sheet, but that was a general consensus from the other places that I talked to also, was that dollar amount was correct. And he also told me that if we had everything ready for him, which wouldn't, I think we could probably do, it's not real, just cover up the manholes with some tar paper so the oil doesn't get on them and stuff like that. They can do a mile plus per day with that machine because it's all just one process. And they have 2 rollers, which years ago when I was younger, I did asphalt business and did some seal coating and stuff, and I'm a firm believer in the rolling, because when you're spraying just your car traffic, you're only getting 2 spots on the road where it's actually getting that rock worked in. So if you use more rubber tire rollers and roll it more, you're gonna get better. You're gonna lose less rock. I think it's gonna do a better job. So they use 2 rollers. They do not provide any sweeping. They don't have a sweeper or anything like that. So I guess we would either have to have our contracted sweeping company come and sweep, or there's also the option of us, renting a box broom and cleaning up, that would sweep it right into a box. We could dump it into our truck and dispose of it. For this year, we have $30,000 in the budget for contracted seal coating of the streets. I would actually like to just try this out maybe for 1 or 2 days, just to see if it's something that we're gonna like. And I didn't put that in here, I guess, but I would like to try and get us on where, okay, we're gonna do the southwest part of town so that so they can just do the streets, and then we'll move on and try to hold things together like that so that we're not having them jump from street. And I know that's not always possible, because sometimes you have a street on the north end of town that's getting really bad, and on the south end of town. So if I can, I would like to try and keep them in one spot to keep that
Well, number one,
mobilization down.
you can tell Kevin, I'm still waiting for my schedule on seal coating. I asked him for a street schedule, year by year, where we're going to do seal coating. And obviously, the area is important, because although you said probably up here in your first bullet point, and you should confirm that, it makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
In that last sentence. It makes sense, but make sure that
Okay.
that was part of the cost.
Okay,
I don't want any probables.
okay, all right. Sorry.
That's okay. I'm just picky.
Yeah, I know.
I had a boss that hated
I knew that.
probables. But I really want a layout for what streets we're doing year by year on seal coat. I mean, we should have this by now. Kevin should have, because I know I asked him a year ago when we went through this. It was a year ago, right?
It's a Pacer rating sheet.
Yeah, I want him to tell me what streets we're doing every year, and then we can get our budget closer, and then we just, we go back and do it again, unless there's emergency stuff.
Yeah.
For whatever reason, a water main breaks and busts up a road and we have to do extra there, but
Yeah.
I want a regular schedule
Okay.
for seal coating. There are streets, Patrick, since I've been here, there are streets that have been hit more than one time in 3 years.
That's happened since I've been here.
And I'm like, well, why aren't we doing these other streets?
Yeah.
So, and it may be due to traffic, and I need you guys to tell me that, but I would really like to see a better plan, a futuristic plan.
Okay.
Here's how many we're gonna do each year. Here's what the coverage is, and tell me how many years it's gonna take to seal coat all of them.
Just before I forget about it, in Kevin's defense, I think he stated that at the last meeting or the meeting before. He actually was never involved in that process.
Really?
As far as, yeah,
Pacer?
if you look back in the
On the
meeting
seal
minutes,
coating?
I know he said that,
Okay,
so,
but I thought.
but
he
he's
said-
going to come out with me, but he
Okay.
was gonna do it this fall.
Okay,
No, I will get you a street map together and whatever, because I have my
Yeah.
ideas.
I
on
want
what
a schedule.
Would like to get done, and.
you know me in schedules, I
Yep.
want schedules.
Yep.
Comments?
Okay. Well, I want to confirm the numbers here, Patrick. So you're saying in 2016, we had 1 mile of street seal coated, and it cost us almost over $29,000.
Correct.
And now St. Croix County can do it that mile, if not more, for $4,500.
That's what I'm being told.
Yeah, it's no brainer, obviously, if that's. the
Are we
actual
already
savings.
contracted with somebody else?
No.
Well, then why wouldn't you use them for the whole thing that you want to do this year?
I want to try it out and make
Give 'em a
sure that
trial
it's.
Yeah,
run.
you want to.
I don't want to.
Yeah,
I don't want to
You
have
don't
them
wanna
come
go
in
all
and
in
do
and
a whole
have,
bunch of
like,
stuff,
yeah,
and I know
mix
I've
and
got
crap.
good recommendations,
Seal
but I
coat.
also don't want to get
Yeah.
it, so I'd
Give 'em
like
a trial
to
run.
try it. Let's see if it works.
Well, I don't know. You guys, what do you think of?
well,
the,
you got the recommendations, which I
What do you
definitely
think about the
appreciate
seal
that.
coating so far? From our previous contractors? I'm not exactly thrilled.
I don't.
I don't like the bumpity bump bump stuff that I've gotten on Summers, occasionally on Fourth.
And here's
So,
another.
and I'm just saying, this is just another contractor. Why wouldn't we just go with this contractor and see how this year goes? And, I mean, they can't be any worse than the guys that we've had doing it already. At least, do you really think they could be?
No,
Well, you've done your
I-
work. I mean,
I am, I do want to make one thing clear that I think some of it has to do, I mean, I do have a little bit of asphalt background, so I think that what I plan on doing is the end of this week or the beginning of next week, I'm gonna go get some actual hot mix and fill holes, and that's why we've got a few potholes and I haven't gotten to them. I want to get a whole load of hot mix, and we're going to take 1 day or 2 days and go around and fix the holes with hot mix, and then go over the top of them with the seal coat, like at the end of August. And before, we had put cold mix in the holes and then seal coated over the top.
Cold mix.
And what's happening is
You don't have to tell me. We're sweeping it
they-
right
They all
up.
just pop out as the climate changes. And I'm thinking that if I put this hot mix in, then all I'll have to do is rent one of those little plate compactors or whatever, and we'll just go around and fill these holes up and get them nice and sealed up, and then seal on top of them, chip seal, roll it, and I think we'll get a better product.
I noticed you didn't contact Hudson, so I'm assuming they use the same contractor we have used in the past, or is that what it?
I did not contact them. I didn't.
Yeah.
I guess it wasn't
There
the
were-
references
they
that
didn't
I
use
had
St.
given,
Croix.
so I don't think they use them.
St. Croix
The
County.
town of Hudson uses them.
Yep, I did see that, that's good.
Yeah.
Yeah, River Falls. Oh, I mean,
Well, I mean, looking at that price,
yeah,
it just seems like a no-brainer. I'm not sure why I get you want to test them,
Mhm.
but, you have to pick a contractor anyway.
It's gonna be dependent upon their schedule as
Schedule,
well.
yeah.
And schedules.
Yeah, and that's
Oh,
that's
it's
why
way
I
more
can't.
dependent on their schedule?
Well, I am now because I mean, obviously I
I don't think so.
didn't get to them early enough. Like I should have been talking to them when the snow was still on the streets.
Okay.
And I didn't do that, so that's
Okay.
on me.
Okay.
So they're going to be in the town of Hudson at the end of August, and I've been corresponding back and forth with this Mike.
Mm.
And he said if they can break away for a day and give us 1 day or something, then at least we could
Right.
have a test strip.
So, but we don't
So how
know.
many streets or how many miles are scheduled for this year to seal coat?
I have 5 different streets I would like to do. Riverside is like one of my main ones. I need to do some patching on Summers, on the east side of 10th. And I'm thinking that, I know that was done last year, but I think we should go over the top of it after I put the hot patch on it and redo
So why
that
don't you
one.
just get a list of streets you wanna do and sit
Priority.
down with
And
them
the,
and
and Fifth.
see what
and-
they can do?
Yep.
Give us approximate mileage.
Okay.
And how soon you want to, you're saying it can't be done till August.
Yeah, so I'll,
When do we normally do this?
last year, when did he do it? I didn't look at it, Brian.
Okay, try
It
and-
was later in the fall though, when they did it.
Well, it seems like we want to do this, wouldn't we want to do seal coating when it's warm?
It needs to be above about 50 degrees. for
Okay.
it to-
Sooner the better.
seal.
Get
Yep.
us a plan.
Yep, okay. I will. So I'll bring this back.
So there was a recommendation, I don't
There was
know.
a
if we-
motion from From Patrick, yeah.
So it's up to you guys.
Yeah, so,
Because it's not specific on the streets or anything. And it's gonna spend about almost half of our budget.
Mhm.
here's what I would suggest before we make a recommendation for the full board is to get the streets.
Okay,
Some discussion on
okay.
if they can do it.
Yeah, the board's gonna wanna know the streets, aren't they?
Yeah.
I will
Yeah.
dig around and find, I know there's a Pacer map that's in there somewhere.
If they can do it, and then if they can do certain streets, if we gotta split it with the existing contractor, what that looks like.
We don't have a contract right now, so that's,
But that's
Or
why you're
they'd have to
gonna,
go out for bid.
you're gonna need to do that if you're gonna spend that 30K, right? Cause these guys,
well,
have to put an RFP
I'm
out.
thinking that we won't spend that this year.
Okay.
I don't know that it's necessary.
well, you'll make somebody happy.
I-
Okay,
well, I
so,
mean, I
so
really
before
don't
we
think
can
so.
take it to the board,
You want
Streets and when can they do it?
map?
If they
streets
can do
and when, yeah, we need an
Well-
estimated time.
Okay, the estimated time is the end of August. That's when they're going to be in the town of Hudson. So his words to me, and I've talked to him 3 or 4 times, was when they're down here, if things are going good, he would give me a call and I would have things ready and he could do, like, I guess I just figured I
I'm
would.
not sure about ifs.
Ifs and buts are candy
No,
and
I-
nuts, we all have American
Yep.
honest.
You gotta,
I get
you
it.
gotta get them pinned, if you're gonna use them, you gotta pin them down to a date.
Yeah, otherwise it won't get done, and
Otherwise, it
then,
won't get done.
then you don't have an
Any
RFP
trouble they
out.
run into on their other job, then we don't get any seal coating done. We can't have that. So if you can't nail them down to a date, I'm not opposed to still using them as a test run, but you need to get that other contractor
Okay.
lined up quick
Mhm.
on streets that need to be done.
Yep.
So you gotta have this ready by July meeting.
I will.
Actually, that's not gonna give us. a-
Prioritize
It's
your
next
streets.
week, isn't it?
Prioritize
Yeah,
your
we-
street. We're meeting next week.
Yeah,
Who is?
the
June
board.
20 June
Yeah, but the
27th.
board. do you
He's talking
guys-
about July Public Works meeting.
Yeah, do you guys wanna send any
We're not
of
ready
this?
for the board, no.
Okay,
It's not ready for the board.
Right.
all right.
Or finance. Finance is gonna beat us up on this one. If we don't have anything solid.
Okay.
Prioritize your streets and then just,
Yep.
Street
Put
priority
something together.
first.
Yep.
And then getting those guys to commit would be great. And you can tell them it has promise of next year doing the whole thing. Maybe you can get them with that,
right,
Call them in December for next year.
yeah, just, but
I mean,
tell
now
them.
that I know that.
negotiate that.
Yeah, you just tell them that you're negotiating, basically. Look, we want you guys to do this, the whole thing next year, but we need a test run, and they gotta commit to a test run, or we're gonna have to use somebody else again.
Okay, all right.
Agreed?
Yep.
All right. Where'd my agenda go?
You can,
Salt shed for.
Salt shed for Public Works, anything you wanna discuss on that?
I put it on there.
You got any numbers?
I do not have any numbers.
Okay, so we'll let that one go.
Can I just quick ask how large you think you're looking at here?
Well, I think we need to have, I've talked to other places and they told me that you calculate how much salt you use on an average and then double it. And the theory behind that is so that you could store double that amount.
Oh, sure.
The theory behind it is if you order, just for numbers' sake, if we order 100 tons of salt this year, and we use 2 scoops of it, and then next year to stay in that program, we have to order another 100 tons. We've got ample room to store it. So that was kind of the guidance I was given, and that was kind of Kevin's
So
thought
the
too.
way you buy salt is you kind of do a contract that renews every year, is what you're saying?
For an
Yep.
amount.
We buy it through Morton
Okay,
Salt, yeah.
interesting.
And it's you order
So what, do you know what size that would, is 100 ton what we normally order?
no, we order between 175 to 225.
So what kind of?
So I'm
So we're
thinking maybe
looking 300?
400.
100? So how big of a bin does it take to hold 400? Any idea yet?
I don't have an idea of
Okay,
that.
well, you'll work that out, right?
I will.
We got till winter.
Yep.
Um,
I just wanted to make sure
Tim?
everything was done.
That's all I want to know, just curious.
Ted,
We have till when?
winter?
Thanks for that.
Till winter.
I don't know actually when you have to order it.
It's already ordered.
Okay, and we ordered 400?
No. No, I
300?
ordered 400. No, I ordered, I think I ordered less than we did last year,
much?
175.
How much do we have in access right now?
There's only about 80.
Okay.
And it's over in Hudson right now.
Yeah.
Yeah,
right?
soon, Hudson.
Any movement on,
Soon, that's why I'm just curious. I mean, there's discussions going on, yeah, we're looking, trying to get some more additional things, funding, big things.
okay.
We
Well,
have-
keep me up to date on that.
Oh, yeah,
because
I mean,
that-
that's-
That impacts this.
I know that, yeah.
I also want to tell you that I need to, I went on and I started searching through the DNR because we're going to have some guidance from them, because the floor of it is going to have to be asphalt or cement. I would say asphalt because it's much cheaper, and it will all have to be sloped inward, and it'll have to have like a curb around it so that we don't have any.
Yep, we want to do it right. We don't want,
Drainage.
we don't want the DNR coming after us because we didn't build the salt shed right.
Yep.
Any other discussion? Item number 6, or 7, chair update. I have nothing extra. Number 8, engineers report. The engineer's not here. Number 9, director's report. Anything
We-
additional?
We are busting our humps trying to get this storm stuff cleaned up. I apologize that we're not getting to everyone everywhere as fast as they would like. I know everybody wants to get it off their lawn, but we're doing the best we can with the resources we have. I think we've got stuff pretty close to cleaned up. The one thing I guess that I would ask is that once we go through an area and pick up the piles, and then we drive through a day or two later and there's more piles out on the curb, we're gonna have to put an end gate on
Is
this.
Save a Tree picking it up?
They started today.
Just today?
Well, they went around and they did, because we had to keep everything separate, they went around and did the main, the trees that fell down, like over by your house.
Between, basically between St. Croix and,
Just, yeah, the main
Summers.
damage there.
yeah,
They did those first so that we can get that on that report for funding.
Okay.
Hopefully.
Yep, yep.
And then they came around, they started today. I talked to Scott from St. Croix, Save a Tree. They came around today and started, I see they had a lot of the stuff picked up on 6th.
okay.
So they're getting the stuff that we just
Okay.
can't handle. Some of those trees are huge. There's no way we're gonna pick
Are we
them up.
putting it down in the shop yard?
Well, we put it there, and then they're gonna chip it up.
Save a Tree is?
Yeah.
So they're picking it up and putting it down there, and then they're going down and cleaning up?
Well, I think what they're doing is they were gonna bring in a trailer with them,
Oh,
and they were gonna load everything up on this truck, and then they take it up to their facility in New Richmond, I think
Okay.
is where they're at. And they have a big grinder up there,
Okay.
and they grind it all up. And then I also talked to Scott, and I've marked some areas in the parks. I'm gonna have them deliver to like 3 different parks. They're gonna dump 2 loads in the parks
of chips?
of wood chips.
Okay.
Yeah.
I want some of those wood chips.
Take some?
But I agree with you, Pat, you need to put a date on when it's gonna stop. I mean,
We have to.
Yeah, I think that should be something we should get Melissa Glorian to say.
I thought we
It
did.
is Wednesday.
I could not
It's
attend the
Wednesday.
meeting.
Wait, didn't we at the emergency board meeting set a date and time? You're saying it's Wednesday?
Melissa did. Yeah, she said it at Wednesday,
Yeah,
This upcoming Wednesday?
tomorrow,
Yep.
Okay.
at 3 or 4, whatever. Yep.
but if Save a Tree didn't get to it as fast as we thought they were gonna,
Well, we picked up a lot before they got here.
okay.
So we've got it all, they've got all their residents written down and stuff, where they got the stuff. I mean, I know there's gonna be a few things to pick up tomorrow, but tomorrow we should be done.
Well,
And part of the deal, Tim, in the emergency board meeting was the county has to go to the state to get us any funds
Mm.
for the storm.
okay.
And we have to have spent at least 14
14, I believe
K
it was, yeah.
related to the storm to be able to qualify for those funds. And
Okay.
so all that's going on behind the scenes too.
Okay, good.
But it's not for what these guys, it's not for you guys picking up, but some of their work done during the storm?
Well,
It's during the storm and picking up just those specific spots. I know there's other
Where the major
places.
damage was?
Yeah, the
Okay.
major,
Wait,
main
Wouldn't
damage.
include the fire department be in there and the police and all that stuff?
Yes,
Yeah.
Yep,
Oh, that
it
part,
includes
yeah.
everything.
Fourth Street, yes.
yep. Yeah, so all that will be figured in.
Okay. Anything else?
No, just got back from some water training, so we're all
Great.
trained up.
Any future agenda items?
I will obviously bring the chip sealing back to you. I've got that as a future.
The lawnmower, I don't need to see the lawnmower until you've
So
sold
it's
the
sold.
truck.
Yep. Okay.
Salt shed, I wouldn't mind,
I'll
more
get some
more
numbers.
specifics, numbers, yeah.
Yep.
And the drainage issue, we want to hear from Kevin,
Okay.
of a more permanent solution.
Yeah, I guess I've kind of been dragging my feet on the salt shed just because I wanted to make sure that that was done.
I would if I could know the size, that's the big thing.
No. I mean, I wanted to make sure that
That's,
it was ours.
yeah,
What?
yes, the shed.
The shot.
I mean,
The
shot.
shot.
Yeah, I thought that
That's-
was done.
Yeah, we voted on it.
Yeah,
Okay,
that's done.
I was,
That's
I was
done.
given the, I
No,
was,
that's done.
okay, all right.
But it's not to say that we're going to put it there.
Right.
No,
Right.
okay.
We have another possibility,
Yeah, no, that's fine. I just, all right,
and we're waiting on him.
Yeah.
okay, all right.
Okay, any other future agenda items, sir? Jim? Nothing else from you?
No.
Did you get all those?
Chip sealing, salt shed, and drainage issue for future agenda items.
Yes, ma'am. All right, if there's nothing else on future agenda items, item number 11 is adjournment, and we are adjourned at 6:22 PM.
Very good, thank you.